कूजन्तं राम रामेति मधुरं मधुराक्षरम् आरुह्य कविताशाखां वन्दे वाल्मीकि कोकिलम्। रामाय रामभद्राय रामचन्द्राय वेधसे रघुनाथाय नाथाय सीताया पतये नमः। जयत्याश्रितसन्त्रास ध्वान्तविध्वंसनोदयः प्रभावान् सीतया देव्या परमव्योमभास्करः परमव्योमभास्करः।
श्रीमते निगमान्त महादेशिकाय नमः। As soon as Ravana left Ashoka Vatika, Ashoka Upavanam, asking the Rakshasis to threaten Sita, coax Sita, show her their fierce forms and threaten her so that she agrees to marry Ravana as soon as he leaves and tells them to the Rakshasis. The leader of those Rakshasis by name Trijata approaches Sita. As she approaches Sita, she tells, Sita, I had a dream. I saw a dream. In the dream, I saw you seated with Rama. Both of you were dressed in white clothes. Shuklamalyambaravrita, Shuklamalyambaradhara. Along with Lakshmana, whom you have always been praising as your son for the services that he renders, all the three of you, Rama, along with Lakshmana, I saw you seated in an ivory palanquin, palak, ivory palanquin, and this was being pulled by 1,000 horses, Vaji Sahasrena. I also saw a Chatur Dantam, a four-tusked mighty royal elephant. I also saw 8 bullocks, and I saw that one Pushpaka Vimanam now being accompanying all of you, and you were all walking in the northern path. I saw the both of you touch the rays of the sun, rising sun in the northern horizon. I saw such good scenes, Sita. On the other hand, Sita, I also saw my own uncle, Ravana, now the ruling monarch of Lanka, with a tonsured head, a body smeared in oil, dressed in red clothes, and running like a madman, seated on an ass in the southern direction. Ravanascha maya drishto mundastaila samukshitaha raktavasaha pibanmattaha Karavirakritasrajaha Ravanascha maya drishto mundastaila samukshitaha. So I saw Ravana there. How was he? Mundastaila samukshitaha. So mundaha, his entire head was tonsured. What is so wrong about tonsured head? See, if a person through the family gene undergoes a male baldness, which is a syndrome, he turns bald. That has nothing to do with a good omen or bad omen. It just means there is a gene and that has affected the person. As long as the person doesn't take it to heart, it's normal. But tonsuring, when you have hair, when can you tonsure? I'm telling you what Shastram says. Shastram says that be it the girl or the boy, around that Abdhapurti time, 1 year since birth, that is when the Mundanam should happen. In most of the communities in Bharatadesham and many Bharatiyas who live as citizens, who are the diaspora living outside India, they too follow this norm of around that 1 year birthday of the girl or the boy, the Mundanam is done. That is all. And for the boy, if the Upanayanam is performed, maybe at the age of 5 or 7 or 9, whenever the priest, the Purohita guides them. Then Mundanam should be done, and in that Mundanam as well, it's not a complete Mundanam like what is done in the Abdhapurti's time. There is some amount of hair left. This is the norm that is generally done for Mundanam, tonsuring of head. But in the last 100 years, we have developed this new pattern of tonsuring one's head. If something positive happens, okay, let my favorite IPL team win the match. Let the Bangalore team win the cup. We have been telling for very long, Isala Kappu Namade. We have been telling this cup is going to be ours for years together, but we have never been winning. So, I am going to tonsure my head so that Virat Kohli wins this cup for us this year. That's not going to happen as per Shastram. I am going to tonsure my head because CSK has to win the maximum number of cups. It should beat the Mumbai Indians. That's not done. Devotion and Shastram is not meant for our petty mundane things. Of course, you can wish, you can pray. God is so benevolent. You can always keep your CSK, your Challengers team, the Delhi team, the Gujarat team, the Sunrisers, everything in your prayers. But when it comes to samskaras, it has to happen the way Shastra says. It cannot happen the way we want, the day we want. I want something to happen in my house. My husband has to come back to good health, so I tonsure my head. My wife has to come back to good health, I'll tonsure my head. My son or daughter have to get good admission, so I tonsure my head. That's not the way samskaras happen. That is why it is said, Mundastaila Samukshitaha. Since it was an untimely Mundanam, it was not Ravana's first year birthday, it was not his Upanayanam time. Why Mundanam? So, when Mundanam happens untimely, in those days it was a sign of approaching death. So, Mundastaila Samukshitaha. So, that is why I said don't compare baldness with tonsuring. Baldness happens naturally, tonsuring happens voluntarily. So, that should not happen. Next. Staila Samukshitha. Yes, we have this habit of massaging ourselves with oil, head, body. But we shouldn't remain with oil throughout. After you massage, you will have to take a proper bath, dry your body. It should not remain on your body. So, he was tonsured, he was smeared with oil. Raktavasaha pibanmattaha. If you remember the previous episode, I was talking about colors, varnam. No one color is treated as inauspicious in Sanatana Dharma. Remember this line. Saffron is as important as green. White is as important as black. Grey is as important as purple. Brown is as important as burgundy. So, every color has its own purpose. That's said. There are certain colors, even as per science, that attract more heat, radiate more heat. So, they bring in more heat, send out more heat. That is why they generally say, when summers come, we have this concept of these clothing brands saying, okay, here we bring the summer colors. When they come with summer colors, they will not come with something like a black or a dark brown, because when you wear something which is black or dark brown in the summers, you will radiate, you will feel the heat more. So, this has nothing to do with the skin color. I could be black, I could be brown, I could be yellow, I could be white. That is different. That's because of the melanin pigment, that's because of our own DNA. But when it comes to clothing, we have the right to choose. So, colors have their own place with respect to heat, with respect to effect. That's it. There is one small part in the larger civilization of occult, which is black magic. Though a person who is truly devoted to Bhagavad Bhakti, Bhagavad Smaranam, Nama Sankirtanam, Bhakti Yogam, Sharanagati, will not even think about such paths. There is a small section of the society that believes that their life will change, that family members will shower more love to destroy the other person. They can use such means. Such means could prove effective for a small period of time, but will be counterproductive in the years to come. It is just like, painkillers. You take painkillers for the pain to vanish, but there will be some side effects to it. So, there are certain devatas who are invoked like Kali and so on, where the person who is performing such activities will either wear black or red. So, they will be wearing those black and red clothes and they will be performing such activities. We will see in Yuddha Kandam how Indrajit resorted to a yagam called Nikumbala Yagam. Nikumbala Devi is one such Devi believed to help in such activities. Now, here, Ravana is seen in a tonsured head, smeared in oil, the body is not blown dry, and then there is red clothes that he is wearing. Raktavasaha pibanmattaha karavira kritasrajaha. Then, pibanmattaha, he is in a drunken state. So, imagine a tonsured Ravana, smeared in oil, wearing red dress, extremely intoxicated because of liquor. So he says, Raktavasaha pibanmattaha karavira kritasrajaha vimanat pushpakadadya ravanaha patitaha kshitau. So she also dreamt of Ravana in such a state, and after all, at the end of it, falling from the Pushpaka Vimana. So he is falling, red, intoxicated, smeared in oil, tonsured. Krishyamanaha striyamundo drishta krishnambarah punaha rathena kharayuktena raktamalyanu lepanaha. Whatever Valmiki says through these words of Trijata is being mentioned by the Tamil poet in his one of earliest works called Kambaramayanam. The verse in Tamil reads this: Yennaithan mudittorum ilagi iruyila திண்ணெடும் கழுதை பேய் பூண்ட தேரின் மேல் அண்ணல் வேலிராவணன் அரத்த அடையன் நன்னினன் தென்புலம் நவையில் கற்பினாய். So Trijata tells Sita, I saw all of this in my monarch, in Ravana, who's my uncle as well. Now as she talks about Ravana's state, Rama and Sita and Lakshmana's good signs, good auspicious signs, she also says, Lanka drishta maya swapne ravane nabhirakshita dagdha ramasya dutena vanarena tarasvina. Till now, remember, Hanuman has not revealed himself. Hanuman went in search of Sita to Lanka, went to different places, at one point in time even mistook Mandodari to be Sita, then arrives in Ashoka Vatika, sits at the top of Simshupa Vriksham, under which is seated Sita. He concludes this to be Sita, doesn't talk to her. He also sees Ravana approach her, threaten her. Then Ravana leave that place and Trijata talking to her. He has seen everything, but Sita has not spoken to Hanuman. She has not seen Hanuman. Trijata has not seen Hanuman. But what does Trijata say? She says, Dagdha Ramasya Dutena Vanarena Tarasvina. I saw some messenger of Rama in my dream who was in the form of a Vanara. Dagdha Ramasya Dutena Vanarena Tarasvina. Now she continues, what did that messenger of Rama in the form of Vanara do? Lanka drishta maya swapne ravanena abhirakshita tarasvina. I saw the city in blazing fire, in flames. So Trijata had a premonition. She had, I wouldn't call it a deja-vu, but it is like a deja-vu moment. It is like a premonition where she dreamt of what would happen to Lanka. It is not that these deja-vu like moments, the futuristic dream moments don't reach us. There are many people still in our society, in Bharatadesham and outside India, who see a few futuristic events happening. Only a handful of them manage to remember, and out of the handful who remember, only a handful of them manage to record them. See, we have heard of Nostradamus, the famous person who used to give prophecies. There are many such people who give prophecies. So similarly, Trijata says, I saw the messenger of Rama in the form of a Vanara burning the entire city. Dagdha Ramasya Dutena Vanarena Tarasvina. So the monarch of Lanka, Ravana, was in tatters. Lanka was burnt. But is there something which is auspicious about Lanka that she talks? Well, she does talk this and more. More in the next episode. Dear Astika reader, I am happy to be authoring a two-part book on the Ramayana in English. The first part is slated for release in the year 2024. The book aims to recreate and retell the Ramayana of Valmiki, conforming to the ancient commentaries and other allied literature. To receive notifications of the book release, kindly register with www.deshikadaya.org/books. Namaskaram.